Welcome back to the show, everybody. Our very own John Deaton, representing the XRP investors on Fox News yesterday late afternoon, and we have got the fire for you. He crushed it, and we want you to see every bit of it. And by the way, we're also going to talk about the U.S. Treasury and the President's Working Group. They're about to drop some framework for the stable coins in this space, and I believe it will be very telling about where we're headed. Let's go ahead and roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. And shout out to each and every one of you for following the channel, because we just crossed 25 million views, someone told me. So very, very grateful for each and every one of you. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. It's $2.096 trillion market cap right now. We are up 5.85% on the crypto market cap. We're pretty almost at 2.1 trillion, right? So right now, let's look at the numbers because things are green for the moment. Bitcoin at 47,700 plus. It's up 4 to 6% on the 24 hour. Ethereum now at 32.92, so $3,292 plus, and it's up 4.92% right now, and both of those are up over 11% on the 7-day. Cardano right now is at $2.22. It's up 2.72 on the 24 hour, but off by 6% plus on the 7-day. XRP, $1.02 right now, 3.2% up on the 24 hour and up 7.06% on the 7-day. We'll keep an eye on it. We will hear from Dark Defender before we get out of here, who's really going to give us the reminder, by the way, that it's the same one Coins Kid has given us as well, and many other technical analysts. Just because we're at $1.02, not to put ice water in anybody's veins or put a wet blanket on the party, but we could still see the price retrace to back support levels of 85 or 75 cents. Now, it doesn't mean it has to happen, but just be aware that that could happen. So let's go ahead and get into this because we got to see that John Deaton clip. Beginning to end, the entire thing is fire. Right now, the range of XRP, low end is 0.9917. The upper end is 1.0624. Let's get into it. A couple things you need to know as the escrow release happened and 600 million XRP went back into lockup. 105 million got sent around to where it needed to for the ODL platforms and business at hand. And let's go ahead and look at this really quickly here. It is right here, and it says after withdrawing 1 billion tokens for the escrow release, it says 600 million moved back in the amount locked up. Large amounts of crypto are put back in escrow after a billion release, 800 million to 900 million on average. 600 million totals that amount of money, and it basically says here the rest of it got shoveled around to where it needed to. Ripple has transferred a whopping 90 million XRP, the equivalent of 91 million plus. And it says here 40 million XRP were moved to Ripple's alternative wallet. 50 million XRP transactions were sent to ODL corridors in Mexico, Luxembourg, and the Philippines. It's working, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I know, and that's the point I wanted to show you. Here's something that I thought was interesting. Cathie Wood's ARK Invest sold $605 million in Tesla last month, but doubled down on crypto markets, retail traders, and online betting. Well, listen, I thought a couple things here. One, I think Cathie Woods is brilliant. Two, I think Cathie Woods must be feeling that the conventional stocks are going to take a hit. So it seems like she shifted out of that position with Tesla briefly. And I don't think it's anything specific to Tesla. It's just that she's in stocks in Tesla, right? So maybe that has something to do with it. But she doubled down on the crypto markets, which is phenomenal news, and specifically retail traders and online betting. And then I couldn't help but think of good old casino coin. Shout out to Daniel and the crew over there. And listening to this right here is an update, and it appears to be retaliation to Ripple's latest request from asking for the 29,000 plus transactions that happened over the last 8 or 9 years, and saying, you know what? You show us how each one of those transactions pairs up to the Howey test. And of course, the SEC responded back and wants to have a telephone conference with the judge and say that that is too burdensome to do. And in retaliation, I believe, to all of that, the SEC is now requesting conference in order compelling Ripple to search and produce video and audio tape recordings of Ripple meetings where Garlinghouse, Larson, and other key employees spoke on topics relevant to disputes in the lawsuit. Now, according to, I believe it was Anya Manuel, and I believe she was one of the ones that was deposed, and in her testimony, I think she revealed that they do videotape and record the meetings at Ripple over the years. So it appears to be like, okay, you want to go there on me, then I'm going to go there on you. And who knows, maybe they both say, you know what, let's just forget the both ideas, right? We don't know where it'll go. But let me tell you what we do know is John Deaton, representing the XRP investors, 20,000 plus at this point, absolutely put this over the fence and into the parking lot. Let's go ahead and spin this right now because this is 8 minutes of fire right here.
Chatter by key regulators boosting cryptocurrencies. Fed Chair Jerome Powell telling a congressional panel yesterday that he would not ban cryptos when pressed on the matter. Powell's comments follow SEC Chair Gary Gensler's show of support for Bitcoin futures ETFs. Bitcoin bulls, fueled by today's rally, already calling for an October, predicting a major bounce in the price for the original crypto this month. Bitcoin right now, as you can see on your screen, is gaining more than 47,000, it's almost at 48,000 right now. Ether is gaining almost 10%. And then, as you can see, Litecoin is higher as well. The green arrow is also extending to crypto stocks. Miners, Hive, Marathon, and Riot all moving substantially higher into the close. Trading platform Coinbase also is rising, as you can see, a gain of more than 2% there. Silvergate Capital up 9.5%, and then you've got MicroStrategy that is up pushing 6% right now. By the way, MicroStrategy owns more than $3.1 billion worth of Bitcoin right now. Well, staying with crypto, we've been talking a lot about Ripple on this show, the company that's currently embroiled in a fierce battle with the SEC over the status of its XRP coin. But it's not the only lawsuit in the works. There's also a class action suit that's been filed on behalf of the thousands of XRP customers who lost a lot of money when the SEC sued Ripple and the value of XRP tanked. Charlie Gasparino is here. We welcome also John Deaton, the lawyer who's representing those XRP customers. And I know that you too have had a lot of discussions about this already, Charlie.
Yeah, we should also get a price of XRP if we can, because it's pertinent to this this story. John, thanks for joining us. We've been conversing a little bit on Twitter. I'd like to ask you this: what is the ultimate goal of the case? And when did you get into this, and why? Why did you? Because you're a lawyer. I haven't read about you in the past going after major corporations. This is a class action suit, I believe, against the Securities Exchange Commission. Am I right about that?
Yes. Right now, it's a motion to intervene into the SEC versus Ripple case.
So, what made you get into it?
Well, first off, I want to thank you, Cheryl, for having me. And when I say thank you, I'm not just saying thank you on behalf of myself. I'm saying thank you on behalf of 22,000 XRP holders who have joined this fight against regulatory, not just uncertainty, but overreach, and also to bring into light the massive conflicts of interest and the gross appearance of impropriety. I got involved because when I read this complaint on Christmas Eve of the last Christmas, I was outraged that the SEC would be alleging exactly what they're alleging in this case. They basically sued not just Ripple, but the hundreds of thousands of XRP holders, many of which have never heard of the company Ripple, never heard of Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson. And as you know, that started just by me and has turned into now 22,000, and Charlie, it's growing every day.
Yeah, I mean, let's just back up a minute. Remember, the SEC sued Ripple, saying the XRP cryptocurrency that's used on the Ripple platform is a security and they should have registered it, which they didn't. And they're saying because of that, you owe us a ton of money, $1.5 billion. When that happened, XRP was deplatformed from major exchanges. The price went down. People like you you're a holder, I assume, in the past of this. I think that's you've mentioned that to me in the past. But people like you who held it saw the value of the holdings go down dramatically. And here's the rub. The rub, the way I read your complaint and the comments by the XRP community is simply this: Ripple used XRP to finance the build out of its Ripple platform, which is actually a decent platform. It's cross-border payments with crypto, obviously the XRP. It's no different than what Ethereum did with Ether back in the day, but Ethereum got a pass with Ether. You guys didn't. Is that essentially it?
And really quickly, just to clear that up, because John Deaton does an amazing thing right here, and he pivots because the case between the SEC and Ripple is not where he's concerned. He's concerned about keeping the focus on the case that he has to have XRP investors represented in this motion he's presented to the case of the SEC and Ripple. He does an amazing pivot here, but just for clarity, Ripple was gifted XRP by the company OpenCoin, which is what the name of the company was when XRP was created. It was then gifted to Ripple after XRP was already created. So the truth is there really was no ICO at all. However, there was one with Ethereum, and Charles Gasparino's absolutely right about the ICO for Ethereum, and it makes it even more complicated and hard to understand how the SEC could arrive at suing Ripple, but not suing, or at least fining, Ethereum. Let's keep listening here. Amazing pivot that John does here.
Well, there's a lot to it. I will tell you this. I wouldn't be involved in this case if the SEC was only going after Ripple for selling XRP in the early years they were building their platform. I wouldn't be involved. Whether that would be selective enforcement or not is none of my concern. But in this case, the SEC is making the absurd claim that all sales of XRP for the last 8 years, that every single one of them constitutes a transfer of unregistered security, including in the secondary market. That means my clients who purchased on Coinbase in 2020, they're claiming, even though they've never heard of Ripple, that we're in a common enterprise with Ripple. It's absurdity, Charlie.
And so what is your resolution? What would you like to see?
Well, right now, we've asked the court permission to come into the case and intervene as de facto defendants, or in the alternative, to grant us amicus standing with participatory rights. Basically, what that means is to allow us to prove that the XRP that we purchased is not only not a security, we also didn't enter into a common enterprise with Ripple. Right. Because Ripple's went on record to say that they owe nothing to XRP holders. They have shareholders, and the SEC is clearly not acting on our behalf. So we just want to speak for ourselves.
You mentioned conflicts of interest. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting.
It sure does. You listen right here, because that comment that he made in the early part of this interview where he says there is the gross appearance of impropriety. Well, let me tell you right now, this is where things turn up and go next level right here. And there should be, I believe, because of that appearance of impropriety, there should be an independent counsel put together outside of the SEC to investigate everything that is mentioned by John Deaton right here.
Jay Clayton was the head of the SEC that brought the case. A guy named Bill Henman was then at the head of corporate finance for the SEC, who played a role, I guess, in the case. You believe that those two gentlemen, who, by the way, we've reached out for comment. They say no, they don't want to come on. So just so you know, I've tried to get them to give their side of the story. You think that they file these cases and they have huge conflicts of interest. Can you explain some of that?
Sure. Well, here's what you have. You have Jay Clayton, who was the chairman of the SEC. His law firm represents Ethereum co-founders and competitors to Ripple. Bill Henman worked for Simpson Thacher. It was a board member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And while he was working at the SEC, he was having private meetings with these Ethereum investors and collecting $15 million while working at the SEC from the firm that's on the board of the Ethereum Alliance. After all these private meetings, Charlie, he gives a speech that declares Ethereum not a security, and we found out that these Ethereum investors helped write the speech.
Are you going to depose them in your suit?
Well, the goal is to depose them. Right now, we're just seeking to go into court in the Southern District of New York and represent ourselves and defend what we own, because Ripple's not going to do it and the SEC's not going to do it.
Want to answer a question, Cheryl?
Well, you know, I want to say that the two of you are going to continue this conversation, because this story between the two of you in this interview is all over Twitter. And
let me tell you something. Isn't that fantastic news to finally feel like somebody's throwing us a life raft? That we're not just out here, you know, saying these things are wrong and that XRP holders have been wronged. That now mainstream media is catching on to how this really appears. And look, I only say that things need to be investigated to really make sure that the appearance is not worse than we actually believe it to be. Hopefully it's all circumstantial and it just looks that way or appears that way, but it actually is not that way. I want to find out that it's not that way. Then really quickly, look, I want to see Bitcoin do well. I want to see Ethereum do well. I hold all of these things, plus XRP and many other tokens, not financial advice. But the reality is that I want to see a level playing field. You know, Ethereum and the people at Ethereum, especially Vitalik Buterin, who spent a couple weeks on Stephen Thomas's couch and ended up getting the key Ripple value structure in order to incorporate it into Ethereum, in order for it to exist in the manner that it does today. Now, if anyone on this planet understood the power of Ripple and XRP and the XRP ledger and Codius and the team and what they could do, it was Vitalik Buterin. And that really has the appearance of more impropriety, could substantiate it even if they find out more and dig into that, because, you know, Ethereum got this unique advantage that Ripple is now being sued over. And again, I explained that OpenCoin created XRP and then gifted it to Ripple. XRP and the XRP ledger existed before Ripple, the company, did. Keep listening to this final thoughts here.
there was a lot of interest in this whole case, and it is fascinating. I'm going to let both of you continue with this. It's going to be online. Follow Charlie in particular on his Twitter blog, where that's all the news is breaking. And John Deaton, thank you so much for this. This was great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. Yeah. We appreciate it. Charlie's been on top of this from the beginning.
It's fascinating, and he has been. Guys,
he really has been. And shout out to everybody there at the Fox Business, Liz Clayman, Eleanor Terrett, and the lady here, and I forget her name, forgive me, and Charles Gasparino. All of you are amazing for following this story. There is a there to some degree. We just need to find out to what degree. And what I do know absolutely about this as we move through this is that the truth is on our side. And that's why it continues to get uglier for them and better for us, because the more things start to come out, the more the truth starts to show that we're just looking for a level playing field. We don't want to see anyone harmed. We just want to see our project be able to go and operate freely as Ethereum has been able to. Now, quickly, before we get out of here, look at this. I've told you about this. I'm going to remind you this again. Shout out to Crypto Law Working Group on Financial Markets led by the Treasury, expected to release report in late October with the administration's recommendations focused primarily on regulating stable coins. Some of you may say it's not a big deal, but I tend to think it is, and this is why. This is Andrew Ackerman here, who says Biden administration wants crypto companies that issue stable coins to register as banks. Will prod them to seek bank charters and ask Congress to pass legislation. Also will ask FSOC, Financial Stability Oversight Council, to consider targeting stablecoin activities, but FSOC not preferred outcome. Well, then we start having to ask ourselves, it's a different conversation and a different video, what really constitutes a stablecoin? we know too that XRP Ledger can issue stable coins issued off of it. Does that mean that the protocols themselves are going to be held to this kind of standard? Would RippleNet need to become a bank? Does anyone? The questions really start to blossom from there. But we're going to monitor this very closely, because I think there is going to be very enlightening information about how they're going to treat this entire crypto space, just looking at what they're going to do with stable coins. That's going to do it for me. Before we get out of here, this is Dark Defender. As Coins Kid has reminded us, we could dip all the way to 84.75 range. Keep your eye open for it. Not financial advice from me or anyone else, but head on a swivel out here. If we get above 142, we could see 184. And if we see 184, we could see new all-time highs for XRP. All right, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below, share with somebody you know. Hit that notification bell. And by the way, if you're confused about your taxes, Clinton Donnelly can help you. He's got many different products that can suit your needs, whether it's full service, sit down with him, or whether it's something you want to help yourself get together and do on your own. He's got it for you, but you got to click the links. And by the way, the only thing better than buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto. I trust IRAs. I trust capital. Click the button, baby. I'll catch you on the next one.